Hi there, and welcome back. It's Lisa from Critters'n Designs in Ontario, Canada. And first of all, thank you so much for joining me. Happy New Year. Beautiful day outside, except it's super, super cold. When I got up this morning, it was minus 15 Celsius. I have no idea what it is now. I think it's, looks like minus 9. Cold enough if you wanted to go out for a walk, which I'm a fair weather walker. Not me, man. Anyway, just quickly, excuse me. We're going to be making this super cute card today. How stinking cute is that? So you may have seen pictures earlier this year when it would be last year because my husband's birthday is coming up February 1st. I used this card as a birthday card using the Trusty Tools um, bundle for his birthday last year, and it was a big hit. And I've been promising my sister ever since that I would do a video on it, and I just kept thinking, yep, I'm gonna do that. So today I'm gonna do that. Anyway, I'm just gonna bump down to my desk real quick here. I want to show you really quickly. The new mini went live yesterday, and there's so many sweet things in here. It's unbelievable. I can't wait. I just ordered this Darling Dinos bundle for cards for my grandkids. I just think that is so stinking cute. And of course, what little kid doesn't love a dinosaur? So there's some really, really beautiful designer series papers. I'm not a big floral person, but man, I just love that. And I don't know whether it's just because of the yellows. Like they're not lemony yellows. They're more like golden yellows. They're just beautiful. So this is also coming in my order, as well as the Delightful Wishes. I love word dies. So whenever I see word dies, I grab them. I scoop them right up. Yeah, so I'm going to do a walkthrough. I was going to do that today, but I've been having major troubles with my back. And this morning I couldn't even stand up. Right now I feel okay, but I did 15 minutes on my rowing machine, and that seemed to stretch out the kinks. So I'm feeling a lot better than I was this morning. Also for January and February, there is celebration. So what that means is in Canada, for every $75 that you spend, you get to pick something absolutely free. So lots of selections. And then if you hit $150, you have two options. You can get 2 of the level 1 freebies, or you can get 1 of the level 2 freebies, like this one right here, the heart-shaped bundle. I love this. And this is a stamp set and a die set. Look at the die. Oh my God, that is beautiful. So totally love this one. Anyway, so this is available. And then also at the back, there is a starter kit special. And you have two options. In Canada, you can choose $165 worth of product and pay $135. And you also get this Handmade Designs stamp set and your choice of 2 marker sets, and you get to choose which color group you want, whether you want, the subtles or the regals or the brights, whatever. But you get to choose 2. And then if that doesn't kind of float your boat, then you can just choose an additional $41 in product and add that to your starter kit. So I forget, it's like 200 and it was in my newsletter yesterday. $206, I think, for $135. And you get a free paper pumpkin, and you don't pay tax or shipping in Canada on your starter kit. So if that interests you, feel free to reach out to me. You can email me at critters'ninc at gmail.com. And then also on my blog, if you're interested, if you're a scrapbooker, I'm not, but there's some very cool things in the scrapbooking brochure, and you can download this on my blog. And even if you're not a scrapbooker, there's some beautiful designer papers in here. And just some cute little layouts, like to give you some ideas. I should try and scrapbook, but yeah, it's just kind of not my thing. But here's Wildflower Celebrations card set. I love the word, the celebrate, the script on that is great. And then there's some papers here. The, which one is this? This is the one like the Mother Goosey kind of one. I forget what it's called to tell. Oh, Storybook Life, right in my face. Storybook Life, and it's got a designer series paper if you buy the whole kit and caboodle, and then it's got the light and dark cardstock, which is a little bit lighter than the normal cardstock because it's not dyed. It's actually, I think, printed lighter and darker on either side. And then it's also got some punch outs with little frames and things like that. So that's in here as well. And then there's also the Storybook Life stamp set, which is different sayings. And also meant to be. So I dug out my Be My Valentine from it's currently in the annual catalog. But they have the new one, the Meant to Be. And while the bees are similar, I think they're different sizes, to be honest with you. Not 100% sure, but I think that they're different sizes. The flowers are different and the sentiments are different. And then you can bundle it with these hexagon dies, which I love layering dies, so this is perfect for me. I love that kind of thing. And even though I do have the Be My Valentine and it's in the annual catalog, I think I'm actually going to spring for this one because I really like it. And then they've come out with a new bumblebee paper, and oh my god, it's so stinking cute. Now it's very similar to the other one, like the little jars of honey and some of the bees are very similar, but I don't think it's exactly the same. I should dig out my old paper. I still have a little bit left, but it is really, really stinking cute. And then Everyday You and Me. So there's another really pretty stamp set, and I love the sentiments again. And it comes with, you can bundle it with a die set as well. And then here are your options for the designer series paper. They're so pretty. And even though I don't scrapbook, I can so see myself using these, you know? Like, look at this one. It's just, no, what I'm seeing on my monitor, it doesn't kind of do the color justice, but it's like Gray Granite, Lost Lagoon, Mossy Meadow, Pretty Peacock, Vanilla, Very Vanilla, and Wild Weed. So this would be a little bit more vibrant than it looks like it is here. And then, what else do we have? And then the Meant to Be, again, is on this page. And you can see that each page has like scrapbooking layouts. And then here's a really cute one with a little girl on it. So super cute. Just different ideas of how to use the, you know, the stamps and the layouts. So that's on my website, critters'nink.com. So if you want to download your own copy, go right ahead. And there's also links there. If you don't have a catalog, you can actually download as well the digital catalog for the mini, the annual, and this celebration. I have links there too. So, and if you would like an actual catalog, let me know. I'll be happy to get one out to you. I live in southeastern Ontario near Belleville. So if you live in that neck of the woods, you can either pick one up from me or I can drop one off. And I'm also happy to pop one in the mail for you too. So there's that. So here's another look at the card that we're going to do. Isn't that cute? Very, very cute. So it looks very complicated. It's not at all. And yeah, so we're going to put one of these together. If you've just joined, please say hello and tell me where you're from. I'm trying to, I don't know why, for some reason, let me just change this. I'm going to see if this shows chats, because the other day when I did my live, I wasn't actually seeing any of the chats from, hi Mary, how are you? From Facebook. And I do see that Mary is watching from Facebook. And it's actually Mary who's been sort of reminding me that I said I was going to do this video. So, hey Mary, here it is. Okay, so the first thing you're going to need is I have a piece of cardstock that is 4¼ by 11. I'm going to zoom out here. Hi, Priscilla. How are you? Thanks for joining. I'm just going to zoom out a hair here. So 4¼ by 11. And I have another piece of cardstock that is 6 by 8. Now, it doesn't have to be 6. Hi, Susan. How are you? It could be, when I did my original sample, I did it, I think, 5 by 8 maybe. But I made it a little bit bigger because I wanted to have a few extra of these guys. So you can cut out as many as you like and then use as many as you like. On this one, I used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And on my other card that I made, I only used 5. So totally up to you. And then I think Doreen, in one of my videos last month, when Doreen was here, she showed the Christmas one that she had done with the reindeers and things, and she used, I think, 5 as well. So, yeah, 4¼ by 11, 6 by 8. I have a big piece of scrap white here. I think it's 5 by 7. Yeah. And then I have 3 pieces of, oh, so this is, oh gosh, what color is this? Pretty in Pink. And then these are cherry cobbler. I have 3 pieces of cherry cobbler that are 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. And then I have 3 pieces of designer series paper that are 3 3/4 by 5. So the paper that I'm using is the Marbled Elegance paper. This paper is really pretty. So you can see the one side. Can you hear Georgie banging on the door? Go away, cat. It's got the marble white and the different shades of pinks with gold on it. And then the other side is like a tone-on-tone, very subtle design. Very cute. And then this stripe. It's really weird that all of these are like tone-on-tone, and then there's this multicolored stripe. But it looks really cute. I'm not a stripe person, but hey, you never know. I might surprise you one day. And then these are the colors that coordinate with it. Cherry Cobbler, Flirty Flamingo, Melon Mambo, Petal Pink, Poppy Parade, Real Red, and Gold. Now, I'm not using Petal Pink. I'm actually using Pretty in Pink. And I think it's going to go because I'm using a matte of the Cherry Cobbler, which... And oh yeah, cherry cobbler is a color. But I think that that's going to look okay on there. I think it looks fine. So let me put this away. Oh, if you're interested in how I did this, a couple of years ago, we had a set of punches that were called, let me grab them. They were called the Heart Punch Pack. So there was the, I don't know what you call that, scalloped heart, and then the plain one behind. I keep my punches. A lot of people sell them, but I love the shaped punches, and I'm always looking for different shapes and stuff. So I used those 2 punches or this scalloped one to do this. And then for the little hearts, I actually used this heart in the Be Mine punch. And just punched out my colors. So I'm always looking for ways to make these little sheets that I do more interesting, because you know I get tired of squares. And these are the online exclusives. If you go into online exclusives, this is where you're going to find this suite. And let me pop that in here and pop it over here. So let me take my trimmer. I have some dies in here and I don't want them to get lost. So that's another reason Georgie's not invited in here, because she's notorious for just throwing things on the floor. I sent a picture to my team earlier. Georgie got up on my desk and I had a basket of the pre-cuts from, it was still sitting on my desk full of those little reindeer things from a card I did last month, and they were still sitting on my desk, and she knocked them all over the floor. So there's probably 100 pieces of paper on my floor. Little bugger. All right, so I'm going to zoom in, and hopefully it's coming across somewhat clear. So this is my 4 1/4 by 11, and I'm going to score it at 5 3/8. So let me see, 5 3/8. So if you're not sure what 3/8 is, 5 is the inch, and then every second line is 1/8. Okay, so we're going to go 5 3/8. So 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to score it. Not going to lie, when I did my first one, I was trying to rush. I cut it. So make sure you use the light colored blade. That's your scoring blade. And then I'm going to score it again at 5 5/8. So 4/8 is a half, and the next 8 is 5/8. So I'm going to go right there. And I'm going to score there. So what this is going to give you is kind of a little book. See? So I'm going to fold it here, and I'm going to fold it here. And that's going to give you kind of like a little booklet. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my 6 by 8, and on the 8-inch side, I'm going to score it at a 1/2 inch. So 1/2 inch, and again, I'm using the beige colored scoring thing. And then 3 1/2. 4 1/4. Is that right? Yes. Yes. 4 1/4. Sorry, I'm just picturing in my head what I'm doing. So 4 1/4, yep. And then 5. So what this is going to give us is, here's my little tab for gluing. And then this is going to get folded like this to create our little mechanism. But first thing I'm going to do is flatten it back out. Now, on the short side, on the 6-inch side, I'm going to score it at 3/8. So there's my half, there's my quarter, and there's my 3/8, and there's my half. So quarter, 3/8, half. I want to score it at 3/8. So I'm going to score it, get it in there. Now this scoring step is optional, but I'll show you why it's a really good idea. So 3/8, and then I'm going to cut it at 3/4. So basically that's 3/8 and 3/8, because 6/8 is 3/4. So this time I'm going to use my cutting blade, which is my brown one. So here we have my 3/8 and then my 3/4. Okay. So again, you're going to score it at 3/8. Get your cutting blade out of the way. So 3/8, and cut it at 3/4. Uh, 3/8. Oops, this is 3/8. This is 3/8. And 3/4. I have to keep reminding myself to get that blade out of there. 3/4. What's the sound like, you guys? Because my face is like right at the microphone. Is it okay, or am I too loud, or what's the deal? 3/8 is there. And 3/4 is there. So I'm making, I think I'm making, how many of these do I have? I have 5. And I may only use 5. I mean, it's totally up to you how many you use, but, so 3, oops, got my cutting blade right there. That's not good. Okay, 3/8. So you have a second line. I was thinking it's a little wonky, right? Because it's getting thinner. So don't forget that halfway down your board, you've got another measuring section here. So I can go 3/8 here, and then I just make sure that my line at 3/8 is there. And then when I put this down, I know that it's going to be straight. So I'm scoring at 3/8 and I'm cutting it at 3/4 again. There. So how many do I have? 2, 4, 6. I have 6. All right, so we don't need that for a few minutes. So I'm going to fold these all now. So you're going to fold your tab away from you to the mountains, like mountain in. And then the first one you're going to fold on the mountain, then on the valley, then on the mountain, so that you have like an M, okay? And so this is what it's going to look like. So I'm going to take some glue, and I'm just going to put a little bit of glue here. And I'm going to hold that and fold. Oops, something's not right here. Ah, what did I do wrong here? Oh, you know what? This is bigger than 8. Let me look. It's 8.5. Okay, I got to cut off a 1/2 inch at the bottom here. So I forgot to trim this. I had 8.5 and I forgot to trim, so my bad. So I'm just going to fold this under and hold it, and then just cut off my little corner there. There. So this is what you end up with. Cute. So I'll just do the same thing with all of them. So fold on the mountain, fold on the mountain, fold on the valley, and fold on the mountain. Does that make sense to you guys? All right, so I'm going to put a little bit of glue on my tab, hold that down. And when you're doing that, you want to make sure that your edges are straight, because if it's off a little bit wonky, then your card will close kind of funny. So just make sure that when you line it up, you're lining it up straight. Okay, so make my little W there. So it's a little bit, you know, it's kind of a little bit sort of labor intensive is not the right word, because basically all you're doing is folding paper, but it does take a few minutes to do this, and that's okay. Okay, and I'm just gonna, yeah, I can't believe I forgot to trim that 1/2 inch off the end, but oh well. Oh well. Oops, see how mine is crooked here? I gotta move it over. There. Oh, thanks, Barb. I wonder why Barb is on Facebook. Oh, because you're not in Facebook. Okay, so Barb is, I don't know if she's watching. She just commented on Messenger, but she's not in Facebook, so just wondered why her comment wasn't showing up. But it's because she's not in the actual Facebook page, I think. This technology, I'm telling you, while I'm getting the hang of it, it's giving me gray hair. I am not a technical person whatsoever, but I'm learning. I'm learning. Okay, last one. Okay, a little bit of glue. There we go. Okie doke. See, super simple. Super simple. Okay, so now we're ready to put our mechanism together. So you can see here, I have this little tab at the top. Now the person that I was watching do this, and I'm sorry, I don't remember what her name was, but she had her tab down here. And I just thought, when you have all of this, plus the tab, you're gonna have a lot of bulk. So I changed the measurements to have the tab at the top so that it wasn't really, really bulky. So I'm gonna line up my little windmills here. Don't they look like the base of a windmill? Okay, so I'm going to take my first one, and you can see my score line is there, right? I'm just going to draw some glue along that on the left side of my score line. And then I'm going to line up my next one along that score line. And that's the only reason you need that score line. If you think you can eyeball it, yeah, just cut your 3/4 inch pieces or 1/2 inch piece, whatever you want. But I kind of liked the idea. The first time I saw this card, Barry Selwyn from, I think it's Selwood, sorry, Selwood, from Mutosu Crafts in England, did this a couple of years ago. And he was the one that suggested putting the line in there. And I thought that's a brilliant idea because it really just simplifies your life. Because, you know, so I'm going to add my next one. And you always want to make sure that your M is at the like at the opposite side of where your little tab is. So I'm going to line up my edge of my piece to my line. Okay, and there we go. So far, so good, right? It's so easy. If you're just joining us, don't forget to say hello, introduce yourself, and tell us where you're watching from. There, so I'm just gonna straighten that one out a little bit. Last one. Do I want to do all that many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know what? I think I'm gonna leave this at 5, I think. I'm gonna leave it at 5. So I'm gonna save this one. I'll do another one later, maybe. So here is our mechanism. Super simple. Okay, so the next thing I'm gonna do is put my card together. So the first thing I need to do is I want to burnish my 2 creases of the little booklet that we made. So I'm going to make sure that my sides are lined up, like along here. You want to make sure that that's square. Oh, Georgie's, can you hear her meowing? She wants to come in and she's really annoyed that I shut the door. All right, and then I'm going to do the other side as well. And just again, make sure that you're, see how it's not lined up here. So I just want to force that over a little bit. And then I'm going to beat it into submission with my bone folder. All right, get over there. There we go. So I'm just going to burnish that fold. So here we have our little booklet. And so this is going to go in here like this. First thing we need to do though is to put down our mats. Now you can, you know, if you don't want to keep it fancy, just go ahead and glue this right in there. But I really think it needs something else. So I've got my mats of cherry cobbler, and I have my designer paper. And it seems kind of a waste to not use the gold side, but to be honest with you, I kind of liked the splatter side better. So I'm going to glue this, and you can see I have a very narrow little border around there because I wanted the paper to be the highlight of the card. I don't know if I'm just worried that if I put this side down and then have these things try to pop up, that they're going to get lost. So I'm going to use the more subtle side. But I feel bad that I'm not using this because I really love this, but not today. All right, so I'm going to glue these down. So we have 3 of those. So I have 2 for the inside and 1 for the front. So I'm just going to glue that right on there. So you can use liquid glue. I am a liquid glue person. I prefer it. I use this glue, the Tombow multi-purpose glue. It's my favorite glue. And I just put it in one of these little bottles just for, so that I can have a finer line of glue. That's my personal preference. But if you are a tape runner kind of person, yeah, you can certainly use that, or tear and tape as well. You can certainly use tear and tape if you like, if that's more your style. I just find the glue is quick and it makes me happy, so that's what I use. All right, so last one. I was on the phone with customer support at Stampin' Up! Yesterday, and I was chatting with the customer service rep, and I was sitting in my sunroom, and we live out in the country. It's not far into the country. Like, there's a town like 5 minutes from me, but so I was sitting in the sunroom, and my husband put up a bird feeder outside, and we must have had, oh my gosh, I don't even know how many cardinals. Like, it looked like somebody had hand painted a little Christmas card with all these cardinals on. We have a cherry tree right beside the bird feeder, and of course there's no cherries on it because it's winter. But there was, I think, 5 or 6 males and 3 or 4 females and a couple of young ones, and it was just something to behold. Like, it was beautiful. Don't often get that many cardinals in one sort of sitting. Okay, so now I'm going to pop these into the card. So I'm just going to center them in the card base. Let me just move this a little bit. There, so yeah, I'm just centering them. Now this is the inside of the card. So I'm going to put these 2 guys in here. Like that. There. Okay, so that's the inside of our card. Okay, and now this is going to get glued in here. So I think, so you have a couple of options. The one that Doreen did at Christmas time, you can see it in one of my videos that I did in December. I'll try and find it and think if I can remember to put a link in the YouTube. She had hers over to the side like this, and then when this was all up, she had like a little pop-up here. Now, I'm not going to do that because I didn't prepare for that, and I don't know what the dimensions were. Or do I? You know what? I might. Because here, yeah, I do. Here's the little piece that nope, that's not it. Okay, never mind. I thought that was it, but it's not. That was the card from the gift card holders that I made for my son. So, never mind. This is going to be a little more simple. So, I'm going to glue this into here. Okay? So, the first thing I need to do is put glue along the bottom of my mechanism. You can see, nothing fancy, just glue. And I'm going to center it more or less. Probably more or less than more, but I'm going to center it in there. Now you want to make sure you don't have any glue, because if you do, then it will stick as you try to open it. Okay, so that's, and I've just kind of lined it up with the edge of my designer paper here. And then this one, am I straight? Yeah, it's pretty straight. So this one, this is why you really want to make sure that when you're gluing these down, they're straight. I had one when I was first trying my prototype. I didn't glue it on straight, and it was kind of off to one side, and when it opened, it was really wonky. So make sure that your not corners, but like your seams are all equal distant from, like, they're in the same plane. You know what I mean? They're straight. And then I'm going to put glue on the top one. And then when I put this down, I want to make sure that my book is still like a book and that my corners match. Okay, so I'm going to line up my corners. and hope that it's straight. There. Oops. Oh, shoot. Okay. Too quick on the up draw here. Let me put this back down, line up my corners. All right, I'm going to hold that for a minute because I want it to obviously open like a book, and I want them to be straight. So there. Okay, so here we go. So here's our mechanism. Isn't that cute? Very cute. Okay, so now we're going to decorate it. So what I'm going to use to decorate it is I have the Celebrate Love Mix and Match ephemera pack. So you can use like whatever you have. And I kind of was just going through, it's amazing how many heart stamps and dies that we have in the catalog, in the online exclusives, in the minis. You know, there's hearts everywhere. So I'm using a few things. I kind of went through my shelf and I picked out a bunch of things that had hearts on it. And one of the things that I'm going to use is this ephemera pack. But another thing I'm going to use is, oh, what did I do with it? Oh, did I not grab it? The stamp, no, I didn't grab the stamp set, but this is the Adoring Hearts hybrid die set. So what hybrid means, let me get these out of here for a second. So what hybrid means is that when they have a hybrid set, it means it goes with an embossing folder, which I literally just had in my hand and now I don't know where it is. Did I leave it over here? No. What the hell did I do with that? Oh, that is so weird. I literally just had it. Oh, here. Right in my face. So here's the hybrid embossing folder. And so what that means is this die will actually fit right in there. You can see that it's, okay, so now it's nestled right in there. So what I did earlier was I cut out and embossed at the same time. There, you can see it a little bit, the glare in here. But aren't they cute? So there's that one. There, that's better. So I embossed and cut at the same time. So I'll just quickly show you how this works, because if you're not familiar with embossing, hybrid embossing folders, they're pretty neat. All right, so I've got a piece of paper here. I don't know how big this is. 5 by 7. So I'm going to pop this piece of paper. Ooh, that's not big enough. No, I need a little bit bigger. I'm going to take a half a piece of basic white card. So I just have a sheet of basic white here, and I'm going to cut it at 5.5 because the 5 by 7 obviously wasn't big enough. So I've got my dies in here, and you can see it's all raised. Oh gosh, you can't see. Can you see if I put that behind there? A little bit. But you can see that it's raised. So I'm going to pop a piece of cardstock right in here. And I'm putting it out so that the cardstock is sticking out the bottom. And the reason for that is, it's just plain physics. If you don't put your embossing folders in, what do you call it, hinge first, then just the pressure of the rollers will eventually destroy your embossing folder. And so it's, I mean, it's really simple. So let me grab my cut and emboss machine. Bonjour, Natalie. How is it going? Thank you so much for joining us. And Natalie is coming from France. That's exciting. France is on my bucket list. All right, so for a 3D embossing folder, you can see on here, it tells you that you need your base plate, which is this one, number 1, and also your plate number 4, which is this one, the gray one. So I'm going to pop this on here, and then I'm going to take my embossing folder, make sure my die hasn't shifted at all, and it doesn't look like it has. So I've got it going hinge side in. And then I'm just going to pop my gray plate on top like this. And then I'm just going to run it through. Sounds like I'm breaking bones. So let me pull that through. Susan, which one have you been playing with? The Adoring Hearts? Okay, so here I have my little pretty hearts that are all embossed. Aren't they cute? Super cute. So that goes with that. So I'm going to pop this over here. And then I also just ran the dies through without the embossing folder. I just ran the dies through. There's other dies that go with it. What do I do with those? Here. And I've started keeping my dies in little plastic bags in with my with the matching stamp sets. And the reason I've been doing that is I'm running out of space. So I keep my little dies in plastic bags in with my stamp set. I'm trying to renegotiate my space. Let's put it that way. So here are some that I cut out of gold. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this back on. And if you have your Take Your Pick tool, you have an option to purchase this brush. This is an add-on little purchase. It just screws into the base of your Take Your Pick tool. And it comes with a little sponge, which I'm not going to use. I'm just going to do it in my hand. But this will pop out all of the little bits and pieces of your stamp, which it didn't, but it does. So let me pop that out like that. There. Isn't that gorgeous? Gorgeous. So let me do the others. It would work better if I had my little sponge, but you know me, I've put it somewhere safe. My husband says one of these days your safe space is going to pop up and bite you in the ass, because I have no idea where any of this stuff is. It's in my safe spot. There. Cute, eh? Phew. So cute. All right. Georgie's given up. She's gone away, thank goodness. There. So there's that one. And so these are the dies that just sit in here like this. They came with. And now I imagine you would have to tape these if you wanted to get like an outline heart ring. You would have to tape them in place because they don't nestle completely, but you could certainly do that. Now, I bought this I don't even know when, like last year when it first came out, and never used it. I used the stamp set a few times, but I never actually used the dies. And I'm not a big Valentine's person. I think my husband will faint because he's getting a Valentine card this year. Because he's the romantic one. He's always like doing little romantic things for me. And I'm just kind of like, nah, you know, I just go with the flow. So he may actually just keel right over when he gets a Valentine card this year. Okay, so I'm going to pop these in here. And then I used I used this one a couple times to just cut out some plain gold hearts. Now there's a trick to cutting out gold foil. So if you've ever had issues cutting out gold foil and your foil comes out all like crinkly and messy, I'll tell you why that is. And it took me a while to figure it out, but it's because you're using your cutting plates, and your cutting plates have lines in them. Like these are mine. You can see that mine are very well loved. They're pretty scary, right? So what I do is I keep one plate specifically to not cut on. And occasionally it'll still get marked a little bit, but it won't get marked as much. And so this is my one that I try not to cut on. And occasionally, you know, I'll forget and run something through. But if I'm cutting gold, I will put a piece of gold and then my die. Let me grab a little die. Actually, I'm going to punch out some of these little guys, and I'll cut out another one of these just to show you. So I'll have it like this. And I don't, like you can see on here a little bit. See how it's got a couple little dents in there? And that's from the this plate, because it also has a couple little dents in it. So what I do to try and eliminate that, and I'm going to run through a piece without the paper on it, but what I do is I take a piece of oh, I must have thrown out my piece. Let me grab another one. Is I just take a piece of typing paper. I'm going to cut it in half. Like this, just copy paper. My printer's over in the corner there. I'm just going to cut it in half. And I lay it right on top of the foil between my two plates. And oh, hi Deborah, nice to see you. It's so nice to see you. And then I place it like this. So let me grab my machine. And I'm going to pop that through like this. Oops. Need my base plate. Got everything sticking to me here. Okay, so I'm going to run this through. Now I just want to double make sure that my dies have not moved, which they have not. So I've got my plate number 3, and then I have a piece of copy paper, and then my other plate number 3, and then I'm just going to run it through. There, so you can see that there's not a lot of damage on my hearts. They look nice. Like it looks nice. There's no yuckiness around my hearts. But let me just show you that if I was to not do that, I'm just going to cut a piece of this off because I don't want to ruin my whole sheet of gold here. If I was to just run it through with just my normal cutting sheets, and you know what, I'm going to use my yucky one just to show you how bad it can be. I'm going to put that like that, pop my little heart on it, and run it through. And I could never figure out like why. So some words of wisdom from somebody who's been doing this a lot longer than I had at the time said, oh, you need to keep one plate for just not cutting. Oh, it moved. It didn't even cut it. But look how damaged that gold is. Like it's got all little lines from, it looks like a little airport strip. There's all little lines all over the place, right? So you lose the prettiness of the gold. See what I mean? Like that's pristine, and that is certainly not. And it dulls it up too a little bit. You don't have the color. And here I've gone and cut on this one, which I didn't really want to do. So what I do when this one gets to the point where it's so warped and doesn't want to cut nicely anymore, what I do is I will pitch this one and then make this one the bottom one and then grab a new one for my new top one. So when I replace my plates, I'm only replacing one at a time instead of two. So just a little hint there for you. Okay. So let's see. I am going to start maybe decorating my card. So if you're just popping in and you haven't seen what we're making, this is what we're making. A little cascading stadium card. Okay, so one thing I want to put in it, because we are cat lovers, on this one, I've already stamped it and colored this little cat. Isn't that cute? So I've already stamped it and cut it out. Sorry, we're going to color it together. But isn't he cute? So we have a black and white cat named Roxy, and then we have an all black cat named Georgie. Georgie is our menace cat. She's the one that's always on my desk throwing things on the floor, if you're not familiar with her. And she is always on my desk. If I'm down here by myself, she's always on my desk. So I'm going to go ahead and color that, and I won't belabor the coloring. I will do it real quick. And I'm going to make it look like Roxy again, like I did on the other one. So to do that, I've got my smoky slate, light and dark. So I'm going to start with my dark one, and anywhere that there's little sort of lines around on the cat like that, that's where I'm going to put my dark. So I'm just going to come in and give her like fur. Like this. So I'm really excited about the celebration. When I first went through the book, I was kind of like, nothing really jumped out at me. But the more I looked at it and the more I looked at samples and just kind of, you know, tried to wrap my head around what was new, I was excited. So I've gotten a couple of things from celebration already. Is this the dark? It doesn't seem very dark. Yep. I'm going to do her feet. Roxy's feet are actually white. She's got socks, but I'm going to put this one dark. And then I'm going to come in with my smoky slate light. I almost need a new one. The tip on this one is a little scary, but that's okay. I'm going to come in with the lighter. And just fill in. Actually, you know what? I'm going to grab a new one. My smoky slate light. There. That's better. The tip on the other one was so shredded because it's one of my favorite colors. I use it all the time. So I'm just going to come in and give her a little bit of lighter color around her little chubby white belly. If the vet saw how chubby she's gotten, she'd probably lose her marbles, but that's okay. She's a happy little cat. Georgie's outside my door. She just went, meow, meow. Let me in, mama. Not happening. Okay, I've got my dark again, and I'm just gonna darken up her fur here a tiny bit. And on my other one, she had a pink nose, but this one she's gonna have a dark nose. And I'm just gonna fill in her ears here. cute. All right, so I've got here light bubble bath for the inside of her ears. And I think I'm going to do her muzzle in the dark. Although Roxy's muzzle is white, but that's okay. And let's see. I have a little flower pot. So I've got light and dark pecan pie. So this is the light. So I'm just going to fill in a little flower pot. And then I'm just going to highlight it a little bit with the dark. There, cute. And then we have our little flower. And because we're using Melon Mambo, I'm going to use the Melon Mambo. So let's see. This is the light. So I'm going to fill in the flower in the light. And then I'm going to go just to the end of the petals with the dark a little bit to give it a bit of depth. And I need a yellow for the inside of the flower. Okay, I've got Daffodil Deluxe, good Lord, Daffodil Delight Dark. And I'm just going to put a little bit in the middle there. And then I have Granny Apple Green for my leaf. So this is the light. I'm just going to put a smidgen on the bottom of the leaf here for some depth. There, so that's our kitty. So that's that. And then I'm going to put a little heart on her butt because we love our little Roxy. She's the sweetest little cat. She's very shy. And she won't come over and say hello to anybody unless she's heard your voice at least a few times in the house. All right, so I'm going to flip that over. And I'm just going to pop that on her bum. Cute, eh? Ah, so cute. Okay, so let's see. We've got our gold filigree hearts. We've got some of these solid hearts, big and small. We've got some Melon Mambo hearts here. What else do we have? Let's see. Oh, I've got, so we also have some of our ephemera packs. So we have Lots of Love, Be Mine, Love You. And then it's got a couple of floral things if you wanted florals. And then it has some of these hearts. So I'm not sure if this heart really goes to me. It kind of doesn't. It's too flirty flamingo, I think, for the Melon Mambo. So I'm not going to use this heart on this one. But what I did on the other one, and I really liked it, was I took one of these punch out hearts. And so I popped it out. And then I took it apart. So it's very delicate, but you can take it apart like this. And that gave me 3 layers to play with. Cute, eh? All right, so let's start decorating the inside of our card. So what I did on the other card was I think I'm just going to recreate the card that I made. So I took this heart that I had taken apart and had this sitting here like that. So let's pop, let me grab my tweezers. Oh, Georgie, she's banging away on the door there. Well, she's scratching, she's not banging. There, so I'm just gonna put little dabs of glue. I'm trying not to put a lot because my hands aren't always the steadiest and I don't want to have schmeary glue. So I'm gonna pop that down like that. And then I'm gonna take this floral one and I'm gonna pop that in as well. Well, that was a bit of a globby one, but hopefully it'll be okay. And then I'm just going to pop this right there. Cute. All right, so there's one. So on here, on my other card, I had my cat sitting here. So I can go ahead and just pop him on here, or her. For us, it's a her. Our cats are hers. So I'm just going to put glue at the top of the second little mechanism because I want the first one's going to have the sentiment on it. So I'm going to just put a little bit of glue up here. And I'm just going to put Roxy's butt right on there. And I'm going to hold it for a second so that it doesn't move. Now, one thing you want to be sure is that your little cutout doesn't go past this score line, because if it does, then this isn't going to close properly. So you just want to make sure that you don't go past that score line, okay? Now, the other thing you want to be sure of too is that if you were putting something bigger, like I have this sentiment here, what I had to make sure was that when I closed it, it isn't going to go past the side of my card, because then it wouldn't fit in your envelope. Okay, so you want to make sure of that. Okay, so there's Roxy sitting right there, cute as a button. And then I have some of these gold little hearts that I cut out. Now I wonder if this will coordinate with one of the ones that we cut out here. Theoretically, they should, but not necessarily. However, I don't know if it matters. I could probably just stick one right on there and it would look cute as heck, right? I don't think, because I don't think that there is one that actually coordinates with the gold cutouts. Pretty sure. No, it doesn't look like it to me. I could be wrong, but I think what I'm going to do, though, because I think that looks pretty stinking cute, is I'm going to put this right on there. So a little bit of glue. Now, this is the part that, for me, takes the longest, because I second think things or overthink things. I know you're thinking, no, not you. But oh, hell yeah, I do. All the time. So, one little thing didn't pop out here. There we go. There we go. Yeah, I'm terrible. I overthink things really badly. And so sometimes it takes me a while to like make a conscious decision of what the heck I'm gonna do. And when I was doing the original card this morning, or yesterday, no, yeah, yesterday, I thought about all the things that I was going to put on each little mechanism, and I'm like, good Lord, it's only paper, you know. There. So theoretically, I could have just cut out the white, like without embossing it. I could have just cut out a bunch of white hearts, but whatever. They're embossed and they're here, so I'm using them. So let's see if I can get that to stick. Come on, stick. I'm going to let that dry for half a minute. You know what else you could do too is take, I might do one and see, I may not even like it, but let's grab a blending brush, a pink blending brush. Now, I don't have blending brushes for all the colors. I just have pink ones. You know, I have one for every color group. So, there. So I'm just going to grab the Melon Mambo here. Might be a little dark, but I have lots of them. So if we don't like it, we can always just grab another one. So let me grab one of these. Yeah, it might be a little bit on the dark. Oh, maybe not. And just color one lightly. That looks okay. I think it looks darker in person than it does on the screen, but I grab a different one here. Take some of the ink off. The embossed part really picks up the ink. See if I can find another one like that and do it later. Oh, Georgie, go bug Dad. I'll take some of the ink off and see if I can do it lighter. Yeah, I like that better. It's a little bit more subtle. I took most of the ink off. So that one looks actually quite pretty, like that. Maybe if I put that with a gold one, like this. I don't know. It's not grabbing me. What do you guys think? It's kind of not grabbing me. I think the pink is just not right. Maybe I should try it with a Pretty in Pink ink. Let me try it. Pretty in Pink. I just walked into my chair. So I'm going to try a lighter pink brush and see. So that's the Pretty in Pink. Let's try that and see. I may not use this. I may decide that I don't like it, but that's pretty. I like this better than the Melon Mambo, to be honest. So something like that. And then pop that on here. Maybe like this. Yeah, I don't mind that. Okay, let's do that. I'm going to close these inks up, though, before I get ink on my things that I don't want to get ink on. So let's glue. Get those brushes out of here, too. Okay, so let's glue these two guys together. And I'm just going to pop this kind of like that. Oh, it's not sticking. Come on. Work with me. I don't know if it's because there's ink on it. It doesn't seem to want to stick. I'm going to grab a block. I'll just pop that on there and hold it down for a minute. I was pressing on it with my fingernail, leaving a little mark, so that's not a good idea. All right, so there, you can see my fingernail mark in the corner there. Not cool, but whatever. It's there now, so. All right, so I'm going to pop this up on here like this. So again, I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on the top of that mechanism. And again, make sure that your bottom of your heart does not cross that score line, because if it does, it won't close. Ask me how I know. Okay. There. Okay, so 2 down, 3 to go. So what else can we put on here? Now, one thing I did do was I took the dies from the radiating stitches, and I had cut out a couple of hearts from the designer series paper. So I could do that, I guess, with the gold on it. Let me see, I have a little piece here. Maybe I'll do that. I'll just cut out a couple of these little hearts. Be right back. Okay, there's one. Whoops. There's one. And here's two. And I'll put this away so I don't lose it. Nothing I hate worse than losing a little die. Drives me bananas. Okay, so if I was to put one of these hearts like this and pop that up here. It's the same theme as the other, but you know what? It is a Valentine's card, so I'm going to pop this on here. Just need a drink. All right, is it stuck? Not bad. So then same thing. I'm going to put a little bit of glue just at the top of that mechanism there. And again, make sure you don't cross that score line. There. So back here, I kind of wondered if I should put another critter. And then I thought, no. And you know what I did forget to use are these. I totally forgot. So I could put something like that on here. Yeah, I'm not convinced I love that shaded heart anyway. So I'm going to cover that little guy up with this. This is how I roll. So if you watched me before, you know that I'm like all over the place. I try it. If I don't like it, do something else. So there, that's on there. And so what I'm going to do now is take one of these little hearts and pop it right here. If it's overkill, oh well. It very well could be overkill, but my putty here is sticking out too much. If it's overkill, so be it. There, so I'm just going to pop that right there. There, that's kind of cute actually. I don't mind that. With the two hearts and the thing. All right, so we have the rest of my heart from here, from the one that we took apart from the ephemera pack. And I'm going to put this here. And just a little bit of glue. And I'm going to put that right there. That looks cute. And maybe that there. Let's see. Oh, that gets lost. So I think, yeah, I think I'm going to put this gold one in here. On my other card, I had actually cut out a stitched heart with the cherry cobbler, but I kind of like the gold. Kind of getting into the groove here with the gold. And pop that on there. So Mare, are you going to make one? Mary's my sister, and she's a demonstrator in the Ottawa area, if you live out that way. There, so I'm going to let that adhere for a second. So I know my sister really liked the whole card. She just loved it. All right, while we're waiting for that to dry, I'm going to grab a piece of scrap of basic white. So I'm just going to take, this is the skeleton from the, when we cut out these little hearts. And I'm going to grab my melon mambo. And I'm going to use the sentiment. My heart belongs to you. I used Happy Valentine's Day the last time, so I'm going to use my heart belongs to you this time. And let's see, which one is that? This one here. So I tend to stamp everything twice. So I'm going to grab my stamp apparatus. And I have a sticky mat in here that I purchased. So I'm going to put this here and get it stuck on the sticky mat. And then I'm going to put my stamp here. Now, it's not important that it's super, super straight because I'm going to cut this out with a die anyway. Now, I haven't used this die before, or this stamp, I just got it. So I'm going to take my chamois, and this is the chamois that comes with the glass mat, and I'm going to give my stamp a good clean. It's important to clean your stamps when you first get them, before you use them, because there's manufacturer's residue on there, whether it's, I don't know whether it's an oil, it could be a dust, but it will stamp a heck of a lot better if you actually clean your stamp first. Okay, and then I'm just going to use the Melon Mambo. I'm going to ink it up. And you can see it's a very fine script. So I'm not going to press hard. I'm just going to give it a little tap. And go in there again and do it gently. If you were to really smush it down, keep in mind that this is not a photopolymer. If you do that, you're distorting the stamp. You're going to squish it down, and it's rubber, right? So it's going to go like this, and you're going to have, it's not going to be as a nice fine little script like this anymore. It's going to be like chubbier, and it's going to be smushed out. You won't like it. So you can, excuse me, I need a drink. I don't usually talk this much. You can see it's nice and clear and nice and fine still, like I haven't smushed it out. And I actually learned that lesson the hard way, because sometimes when you watch different like crafters do their thing, and they have this tool with like a ball on it, and they really press it down and stuff like that. So I don't have one of those tools, but I was just using my hand and really pressing it out, and I couldn't get a nice stamp, and I thought, what the hell? So I was watching another demonstrator who very gently just does it, but she does it 2 or 3 times, and her stamps turned out perfect every time. And I'm like, okay, lesson learned. I'm not going to smash the daylights out of the thing. I'm just going to do it a couple times and do it gently. And that worked for me. So what I have here are the Countryside Corners dies. This is part of a suite called Country Inn. Sorry, can't remember. I think it's called a Country Inn or Countryside Inn or something like that. So it coordinates with it. It's not a bundle, but it does coordinate with it. So I'm just, excuse me, I'm just going to cut this out very quickly. I'll be right back. I could keep bringing over my machine, but it's just quick for me to, you know what? Look at here. I have to redo it. Cat hair. The joys of being a pet owner. I have cat. You can see there was a cat hair on my stamp. So flip it over, grab the Stamparatus. Maybe the cat hair was on here. So the way you clean your sticky mat, if you have one, is 2 ways. Never use alcohol on it, but I'm using Stampin' Mist, which is a stamp cleaner. So any good stamp cleaner, but not the one for StazOn. StazOn is very harsh. So you want to use something very gentle like these stamp cleaner. And I'm just taking a what do you call it? Like non-linty cloth. And I'm just giving it a quick clean. And take any cat hair that I had on there with it. Because heaven knows we have a lot of that. And put my cardstock back on there. Plus it'll stick better now because it's clean. But yeah, don't use alcohol or StazOn cleaner or anything like that, because you'll damage your sticky mat and your photopolymer. This is actually just a huge photopolymer stamp, this mat. That's what it's made out of, photopolymer. And so you just treat it like you would your photopolymer stamps. So no cat hair on there now, thank goodness. There, so nice and clean, nice and crisp. Give that a quick clean here. Pull that off. Okay. All right, so I'm going to take my die. I'm just going to pop over here and give this a quick cut. There. Beautiful. Now, because I have ink on the back of this, because I did it twice, I'm going to cut a second one out of another piece of scrap and glue it to the back, because I don't want that to show. It just hit me as I was placing it on here. I thought, oh crap, you can see the back. So let me just cut out another one. Okay, so I'm going to glue this to the back of this because I don't want the ink to be seen from the other side. So I'm just glue these two guys together like that. And then this one, I'm going to pop right here. There. So again, I'm just going to put glue here. And again, I want to make sure that this edge is not going to go over the edge of my card, because then it won't fit in the envelope. So I'm just going to sit that here. Like that. And I'm going to take a couple of these little gold hearts that I punched out earlier. Like that. And let's see, I'll put one over here. Got a glue booger on my bottle. Okay, and I'm just gonna take your pick tool. Get back on there, you little stinker. There. Oh, it does not want to stick. It's sticking to me. Get in there. And then, is that a gold one? Put another little gold one down here. There, I'm just gonna I'm not gonna touch it because it seems to be sticking to my fingers. So I'm just gonna let them sit for a second. And then I still have to come up with something for this top one here. So maybe, so I've got Be Mine. I could do Be Mine and put one of those little bees on there. That's always a thought. I don't know if you saw the little bees. Let me see. So there's little tiny bee trinkets in the catalog. Look how stinking cute these are. Look how tiny, little tiny bees. I'm gonna flip one over here so you can see it. There, how cute. Oh, you can't really see. If I don't know why this camera does not, oops, wrong way. Does not zoom like my phone. I used to love it when I could just push something right up to my phone and it would zoom in nicely. I'm going to put one of these little bees on here just because it's a bee. It says Be Mine. So I'm going to put a little drop of glue and a little bee. There. Oh, yeah. Super cute. Okay, I'll let that dry for a minute. And then I'm going to put this up at the top. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue here. And then pop this there. All right, so we still have to do the front. So, straighten that out. Oh, shoot. There, whoops, upside down. That's not good. Okay, I'm going to close this and let this dry for just a minute. And then we can start to decorate our front. So what I did here was I used my same panel that I used on the inside. So that can just go right on there. But first, I want to I'm going to recreate what I did with this. So I need a piece of cherry cobbler. I'm not cherry cobbler? No, that's melon mambo. Okay, let me grab a piece of cherry cobbler because apparently I don't have one. All right, so I just have a scrap of cherry cobbler here, and I'm going to use the this really pretty stitched heart. And get it out of there. There. This one. Isn't that cute? Love this. So I'm going to cut that out. I don't need much. So let me just run that through. There. And then I need a piece of scrap basic white. So I pre-cut, when I get a pack of paper, I do, I pre-cut at least half of it into 4x5 1/4. And that's going to work for this. And I make a whole pile of them so that I have them when I go to do a card front, because that's the piece size that you need the most, right? So let me just put these out of the way. I had forgotten to put the lid on it. Can you imagine if Georgie jumped on my desk and there'd be little bees everywhere? Okay, so what I need for this is, I'm just going to close this before Miss Muffet gets her little self back in here. And I'm going to grab my embossing folder, which honestly, seriously, I just had it, right? I'm gonna need this in a sec. My embossing folder. Is right here. Okay. Sometimes, do you ever feel like, you know, you're looking for something and it's like right in your hand? Yeah. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just pop this in here, and I only want one row of hearts. So, I mean, it doesn't matter which row of hearts I want, that I'm just going to use like one row of hearts here. But I want this sort of centered because I'm going to trim them out. Okay, so I have two. It's too bad you can't see it because it looks really... Anyway, there's 3 rows of hearts. I'm going to zoom out. 3 rows of hearts going across and 3 rows of hearts going like up and down. So let me go and run this through the embossing machine. And again, I'm just using because it's a 3D, I'm using just the base plate and my number 4 plate. Okay, so I'm using my base plate, which is number 1, and my number 4 thicker plate that you use for 3D embossing folders. And again, you just want to make sure that whenever you run it through, that this hinge goes first always. Because if you put it in sideways or this way, physics tells you that the pressure is going to be on here and it's going to destroy this hinge. So I think you can put it in sideways if you're really careful, but I don't, just because these cost a lot of money and I want to keep them nice. Why is that sticking? Oh, I must have had glue on the back of this. Yeah, look, little piece of glue. Nice. Okay, never mind. Okay, so I'm gonna get rid of this. And I'm gonna bring in my trimmer. And I want this to be, oh my gosh, look, it embossed it right through the little hole there. That was the one with the glue on it. So we're going to eliminate that. I'm going to trim. We're going to trim that one right off. So I'm going to cut this kind of right down the middle. This is I'm going to cut this at 2 inches. Kind of right down the middle. And just to make sure that it's even on both sides, I think I'm gonna trim, oh, maybe quarter. I don't know if 1/4 of an inch will be too much. I'm gonna start with 1/8 of an inch, because we can always take more off, but you can't put it back. I think maybe another 1/8 of an inch. I could have gone with the 1/4, but you just don't know, right? So there. So it's, oh, see, I cut too much off. It's not centered anymore. So you could do this all day long. Just keep taking off 1/8 of an inch here, and 1/8 of an inch there. Close enough. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I have a piece of gold foil somewhere. Okay, so I had a piece of, oh, here it is, gold foil. So what I'm going to do, oh, no, because I was going to use this and then I went ahead and cut these, so never mind. I'm going to grab a new sheet of foil. And I'm going to cut a piece that is 1/8 of an inch thick. So 1/8 of an inch. There, that's all I need. And so this is going to go on here like that. So I think on this one, I'm going to center it. On this one, I had it over to the left a little bit. And on this one, I'm going to center it. So I'm going to center it, but I want to make sure that my hearts are within, you know, the actual piece of cardstock there. So let me grab some glue. So I need to put glue where there's no embossing, because obviously it's not going to stick where there's a hole, right? So I'm going to center that. I'm sure it's not perfect, but like that. That's straight. Not super straight. That's why grid paper is such a great idea, because it helps. All right. So then I'm just going to trim away what is hanging over. And then on this side, okay, so there's our little hearts. And then I'm going to take my glue and I'm just going to go right, let me clean this off, right next to my cardstock. And then I'm just going to lay my strip of gold right here. And this has a little mark on it. I'm going to start at this end. Now, when you're making this, you know, you don't have to be as over over decorative as I'm being. Obviously, if you're more of a simple type stamper, then it's easy enough to kind of simplify it. I don't. I'm usually a little bit more simple than what I'm doing today, but heck, it's Valentine's. So that's gonna go like that. There. There. Oh my gosh, look at how cute that is. Love it. Okay, so I've got my other heart here. I'm actually going to pop that right in the middle like that. And I'm going to put it up on dimensionals. I don't have any big dimensionals out here. I'm just going to use these. So, there. Whoops. Now, I personally tend to be a little bit heavy-handed with dimensionals because I don't like it when the cardstock sags in the middle or, you know, on the sides or things like that. So they're inexpensive, and honestly, they make a world of difference if you are not, whoops, if you're not, you don't have to be super heavy-handed, I mean, but you want to make sure that all your saggy bits aren't going to sag. There. Okay, so I'm going to pop that right here. Cute. Love it. Okay, and then I'm going to take one of the Happy Valentines from the ephemera pack. Okay, and I'm going to just pop that right in the middle like that. Now on this one, I had it off to the side, so I have a dimensional on under here and just glue over here. But because this is going to be right in the middle, I'm just going to pop some glue right in the center. And if it hangs off a little bit, it doesn't matter to me, because there's not enough there to worry about. Maybe putting like a little dimensional. You could put the mini dimensionals on under each end, but I honestly, in this particular thing, I don't think it matters. And then in this suite, there's also these beautiful little gold adhesive sequins, little hearts. Super cute. So I'm going to pop a couple of these on the front. So I've just got my, pop one over here. One over, I think I'll put two over here, like that. Oops. And then maybe one on the other side. There. How cute. If you think it needs something else, let me know. Sometimes I go way overboard with the embellishments, and then sometimes I think, yeah, that could use something else. This is looking a little long to me. I'm just going to trim this one little piece here. The heck did I do with my scissors? Here they are. Yeah, I'm just gonna, that's just hanging over a little bit much for me. It's kind of bugging me. No, it's not straight. That's bugging me too. Okay. That's better. Okay. So that's going to go like this. So it took a long time to make this, but really, if you're just you know, making like one by yourself, it's not going to take this long. And especially if you have everything ready to go. There. So there's our card. Finally. You can all take a breath. It's over. There. So there's our little book. And then when you open it up, isn't that cute? Now, if you wanted to, you could put a little white heart here so that you could sign like love whoever. But you could just do it like with a darker pen, like right in here. Isn't that cute? So I finally got this tutorial done. I apologize for it taking me so long to do, but oh, thanks, Deborah. I think that this style of card is stinking cute, and even though it's a little bit time consuming, it's not hard work, and it's a lot of fun. And then people talk about shock and awe. When you give this card to someone, they're going to be like, I can't believe you made that. Which I love hearing that, because you know you do put a lot of work into it, and you know your supplies are an investment, so it's nice to have that positive feedback, the shock and awe of it. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching this. And if you need any help when you're making yours, feel free to reach out. I'd love to hear from you. If you haven't already subscribed, I'd love to have you subscribe to my channel. My goal is to hit 1,000 subscribers. I'm at 600 and something right now, and so not too far to go. But and if you are a subscriber, don't forget to give me a thumbs. Where am I here? A thumbs up. I'd really appreciate that. And if you'd like to, when you're over on my website, if you'd like to sign up for my newsletter, that's when you get news about what's happening, classes and what's new going on, things like that. So let me know. And have a great evening. I can't believe that we're already into the 7th of January. It's blowing my mind. I feel like it was just Christmas, but anyway. Thanks again. Have a good night. We'll see you soon. Bye for now.